What's up guys, welcome back to another video, hope you're doing well today. And today's video, I just wanted to show you what I've kind of been up to, really, for the last week and a half or so. As some of you know, I've mentioned in previous videos, I've been doing a fair amount of Papiti server grinding over the last week and a half, attempting to get somewhere near the top of the leaderboards, and without really realising it, I've actually gone 195 races in a row. Hopefully this race will make it 196. Like wins in a row without losing. Now there isn't little asterisks at the end of that statement because there's two races in amongst those 195 where the servers themselves had issues and caused me to miss timing gates and laps not to count. So I'm gonna kind of exclude those. So take it as you wish, whether you want it to be a valid statement or not. Yeah, 195 wins in a row, and all I've been doing really is, I suppose there's been some sort of cherry-picking lobbies. I know my strengths and weaknesses. I know that, for example, I can beat 99.999% of players in a race on Forest straight up. Same as Paletta. I mean, a lot of the stock tracks, I feel like I can say that for. That Papiti servers cover a fair few tracks. Most of them are on the stock tracks, but you get some that do the TFC, National Track Rotation, as well. And I've done one or two races in those servers over the last week and a half, and without a doubt they've been the hardest ones. You know, there's a couple people that do those that are disgustingly quick around them tracks and had some of the closest calls to losing that streak. And it's not like I was even on a streak to begin with, like going out to get a streak. I was just kind of grinding to try and get that MMR up. So I suppose it kind of goes in a way to show the level of lack of brain cells, first of all. Okay. I suppose it goes to show the level of commitment needed, and almost, I don't want to say no life, because, you know, if people enjoy riding these servers all day, every day, then let them be. But you have to put in so much effort into this, it's unreal. So to put it into perspective, obviously I'm on a 190 plus win streak right now. I am still just under 5,000 MMR off of the leader, who, as we all know, is Mr. Troy Jan. He was a very, very dedicated man when these servers first came about, so now he's kind of like sitting pretty at the top, and he can watch everybody else and just play as and when he needs to keep that lead. So I do have respect for him, and I won't lie, I was trying every now and then. I was checking some nights, just scrolling through the server list on my PC, on the MX Bikes website, just seeing if I could find him anywhere, to see if I could snipe him and get that little extra bit of MMR. And there's only one night that I've managed to find him in a lobby at all, and we've done 3 races against each other, and I have to tip my hat to him. He is, at least on the stock tracks, by far the hardest opponent that I've faced, and I think that is a testament to show that you can improve at what you put your time and effort into. If you spend 1,000 hours riding stock tracks, you can be very good at stock tracks. Alternatively, if you put 1,000 hours into aerial motocross tracks, or if you put 1,000 hours into supercross tracks, you'll be very good at those as well. So if there is ever anything that you're struggling with on this game, then just sit down, spend the hours, put some time into it. There's no cheat code to going fast in this game. You know, it is, whilst it's an easy game to learn, it's a very difficult game to master. And I think that is always the best way of learning this, because I feel like I've, you know, done my time, and then when race nights come and I'm a good second and a half off the top qualifying pace and race pace, I'm just like, where on earth are these people gaining this time from? And I think it just comes down to a level of commitment overall. But I've had some really fun, enjoyable races in these servers, as much as people do give them a bit of stick. I would genuinely love to know if there was ever any way of counting, in all of my 2,000 plus hours on this game, just how many laps I've span on Forest. Because Papiti servers aside, obviously I've done a whole bunch of Forest races, it being my favourite track of choice. I feel like I can consistently run 102s or low 103s like every single lap for the rest of my life around there. I'd like to know how many laps I've done, because there was a time before all these servers existing where I think beta 16, beta 17-ish, where myself and Jack and Owen Pittman and then Hurls came along as well. We was all battling for the world record around Forest back when people cared about world record laps, before we had all this like tyre cheats in testing dramas, and no one really cares anymore because you can't really prove anything. But I want to throw a number out there and say that I've probably run 1,000 laps on Forest in total, which sounds insane. I know that equates to literally over 1,000 minutes on one track, which, should we try and do the maths? What's 1,000 divided by 60? So it's over 100 hours, 150 hours would be 900, I think, if my maths is okay. Yeah, about 150 hours-ish on one track is kind of wild, come to think about it. Actually, a little bit sad now that I lay the numbers out. I'm hoping that my maths is wrong off the top of my head. But what you're witnessing now on your screen is just exactly what I've been doing. And if you do want to gain some MMR and you want an easy way of doing it, which I suppose, again, it goes back to the whole cherry-picking thing, is there is one server, I believe, which is the non-contact server. Now, this server ideally is for people that have hit too many people in the other servers. They've been banned from those other servers for their safety rating being too low, whether it's their fault or not, if they've hit people or people have hit them continuously. So this is the only server they're allowed in, which is no contact. And the reason why I quite like this server is when it gets late at night, like it is right now, 11 PM onwards, maybe I'm settling in for the night shift and grinding away until 2, 3 AM. I'd quite like just putting some TV on my other monitor. Recently I've just restarted watching The Walking Dead as well, and I can just shut my brain off and just ride the track without having to worry about being taken out. I know that when contact is removed, I can outpace, again, 99.99% of people that play, and especially in these servers, I don't think I've ever seen a top tier guy playing on these tracks before. No offense to anyone that does play them. As I said, it's predominantly made for people that have been blacklisted from the others just to get their safety rating back up so they're allowed to play again. And maybe that's like some sort of a little cheat or like hack to make your guys' lives easier if you care about the MMR system. And there's a lot of people actually that aren't aware of the whole Papiti website and the system overall. So to give you a little bit of a breakdown, if you go onto the MX Bikes server page and you just type in Papiti or PEP, if you're not sure on the spelling, then all of the servers will come up. Usually there's a rotation of a few stock tracks, so there'll be Forest, Paletta, Washington that I'm on right now, aka Washougal, Maryland, aka Budds Creek. There's one server that goes through the TFC tracks. There's also a server that goes through just a random track now and then, but you'll find the stock tracks always tend to be the most full, which I think a lot of people hate, but we do have to remember that majority of the players on this game are beginners, and it's how it's going to go. That's how it's going to be, probably forever. There's more casual players on this game than there are hardcore that just want to hop on and have an easy time now and then. Some people detest it. Some people want there to be like all the aerial tracks on these servers, but to be honest, I play these servers when I want to chill out and relax, but just get a little bit more bikes time in, rather than just grinding and tryharding my arse off. So, it is what it is. But how these servers work is you beat people, you gain MMR or matchmaking ranking, I believe is the breakdown. If you lose to a lot of people, you lose MMR. And it depends on who you beat, who you lose to, on how much you gain or lose. So, for example, when I was in a lobby with Troy had 13,000-ish MMR at the time. I had about 9,000. And when I beat him, I got like an extra 10 as a bonus for beating someone with a higher ranking than me. However, I think if I come third or below in any of these races, bearing in mind most people have about 1,000, 2,000 MMR, I will actually lose a bunch. So there's kind of this fine line between chilling out and playing the game and actually having to put in a good amount of effort to make sure that you don't lose too many points. And I've played this with Charlie now and then as well. He seems... when I say Charlie enjoys these, there's a little bit of pinch of salt involved, because I've never heard that man rage more than when there's skill rating and MMR on the line and we're in contact servers. It's such a funny thing. Now, I've been a bit of a scumbag every time I've been doing this. I've been going on the Yam 450, and sole reason being is just to get out the gate, because I've been doing the old Linda launch, the old little wheel spin out the gate, and again, 99.99999% of the time I come out with the whole shot. So when you got a clear track, it just makes your life so much easier than trying to battle through people. Some people generally just hop in these servers and don't know what the ranking system is, so they don't ride too heads up or carefully, which, I mean, it's annoying in the time when you're caught up in the moment. But if they don't know, they just genuinely don't know. And if you go to the papiti.com website, if you're unfamiliar with all this, you can have a look to see where you kind of stack up. There's a leaderboard with the top 250 players. Alternatively, you can log in, I think, with your Steam ID, if I'm correct, and have a look at your own profile and your own stats. And it's good, if you're looking for a little bit of competition or a way of progressing in MX Bikes, because there's no career mode or anything like that, and I'm pretty sure no one cares about the stock games MMR system anymore. this is the way to go. I want to show you real quick. If I go to my profile, you'll probably find that I showed a bit of this at the beginning of the video as well. But so, for example, this is the homepage. It shows there's been 2.7 million laps run by everyone in total, with 28,000 people playing in these servers. I change name quite often, so I don't get targeted. So this is me down here, your boy DeMarcus, and I've got 8 world records on various tracks. Didn't mean to click that. If we move over to here, Slim Shady at the top is Mr. Troyjan on 15,000 score, and there's old Bum Jr., which is the name I just ran in that race, and I'm now on 10,590, so just inside the top 5, and I've been grinding and grinding and grinding. If you go to profile in the top right, you can see here it shows how many laps I've ran on the Yami, like total laps overall. This is my safety rating, and you can see how much MMR you've gained over a certain number of races. And if I go to races here, it shows me a nice breakdown of every single race that I've done, which is really, really cool. So, which was the server that I was with Mr. Troyjan on? It wasn't there. It wasn't there. Where was it? Was it here? No, I can't find it. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. If I refresh, it should hopefully show me the race that I just done. You get a really good in-depth breakdown as well of how you've earned the MMR that you have. As you see, as the race finishes, even in the in-game server, it tells you I've just gained 36 MMR from that race. So if we do go back over here to the old Papiti website, you can see it's just updated. So I was on 10,590. I'm now on 10,626. I gained 36. And if I go to race details here, you can see the full breakdown. So I won the race. I got the fastest lap time. And if I go down here, you can see I gained 36 overall. And that breakdown was made up of the people I beat. I got 32 score for, and I got another plus 3.3 for getting the fastest lap of the race as well. And you'll see that it's not always equal, because Mr. Nybrock here, he came 3rd, but he got less MMR than the guy that came 5th, and that's because of who they beat. So the person in 5th has a fairly low MMR here of 1,000, yet they beat someone with 1,300, so they get extra score because of that, which you can see in the positive rank bonus here, and so on and so forth. So it's a cool system. You know, you can add up or take away depending on where you finish. Unfortunately, if you do disconnect or anything like that halfway through and you get an awful position, you lose a lot of score, which sometimes can take 2, maybe 3 races to get back again. But I am a fan list. I think it adds a whole nother layer to MX Bikes that I do personally really enjoy, just when I'm looking to chill out a little bit. And it's just good stuff overall. I've had a good amount of fun kind of climbing through the rankings, because I started, I think I was even outside the top 250 when I started grinding this again. And now I've worked my way all the way up into P4, representing Mr. Chris Bumstead. If nobody knew who C-Bum was, I'm sure you can have a look at it yourself. And it's just really, really good fun. So give it a try yourself. Let me know if you're often a Papiti server warrior like me. And who knows, maybe one day I'll find myself up here when I can find the motivation to sit down and grind out that many races again. I'm a little bit burnt out, but I play maybe 2 or 3 races a day on my non-grinding days. But that'll do it for me. If you enjoyed, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Peace.